Hey, Tank, how are you? Can you hear me? No, can you not hear me? Oh, you can?
I can.
Okay, perfect. I was like, hey, Tank, I'm so excited to see you. And then I was like, nothing. You were just like still. I'm like, are you
Oh,
there?
I
Can
couldn't
you
hear
hear me?
you. I couldn't hear you at that point, but yeah, I
Um,
can
it's
now.
it's so weird. Like, thankfully, Angelica, my assistant, is on the call too because she could see people. I can't see people, so it's super weird. And Angelica, you can always stay
Wow.
on here with us. And so I know there's Kaylee. Is that how you say it too? I want to say your name right, Kaylee.
Yes, that's correct.
Yay! Have you been on a call before?
No, I have not.
Nice. Well, you might get like an exclusive call because we actually made a mistake and we always meet on the fourth Thursday. And at the last minute, we realized that was Thanksgiving. And so
Yeah,
we
I,
pivoted.
I just saw it pop up, so I was like, "Oh, I'll watch it." My kids are in
Yeah.
bed, so
Yeah. So, so we might have a small group today because of the pivot, but that's totally okay with me. I sometimes like that better. I get to know people better. So, on that note, we really always like to just let the conversation flow organically for whatever you ladies want. So, whether it's something you want to talk about specifically in your business, it can be, it can be social, it can be business, it can be whatever you want, but it's just kind of like a moms in real estate meetup. So, is there anything in particular you would love to talk about?
you know, I think right now, just like given the current market where I am, my big focus has been like lead gen and events, and so maybe if we can touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Liz, I saw you just jumped in here too. And of course, Tamika, whatever you guys want to talk about, like we can make it hot seat, whatever. But yeah, so lead gen and events are, I feel like they're one and the same. I actually built my entire business around events. Are you doing events now?
I am. I just started planning. I'm gonna do a pretty big Galentine's event, like women's small business event in February for Valentine's Day. So I'm not really doing anything for the holidays right now, though, just because I've been really busy. So I'm gonna make that my focus to plan a pretty big event for that.
Okay. Well, I love that. So tell me where I can give you value. Do you want to just like brainstorm or you want me to just tell you like, what I do? You tell me.
I would love to know what you do. I love picking brains of women
Nice.
who, have done this and know what has worked for them. And
Yeah. So I will share this. So at this point, my business comes about 85% from my what's called my mob. So little side note, if you have not named your advocates and your clients, name them and think about like something that is specific to you. So for me, I grew up in my town and my dad was a Hispanic male who dressed very, very well and was in sales. And so like in the town back when I was growing up was still small enough that like people were like, is your dad in the mob? Is he a drug dealer? Like there was all these rumors around my dad. And so everybody swore my dad was in the mob. So I just came up with the Mendez mob. And I have this funny joke where I'm like, all right, well, congratulations, you're officially working with me. And just so you know, this is the mob. So there is no getting out. I'm your real estate agent for life. Um, so with that said, the mob like became my thing. And now my client events or 85% of my business comes from my mob. So some clients have transacted with me, some haven't. And to put that in perspective, that's usually about 15 to $18 million in volume a year that comes from the mob. But the mob came to be built from two forms. So, like I said, some have never transacted with me. So, my heart was always and has always been with the underserved. And so, when I did a lot of things in the community, it was for the at risk youth, it was for the underserved. And so, when I started with events, it was open to anybody and everybody. And it was open to, the football teams, it was open to everybody. And the truth is, like, I just hope somebody showed up. I was like, please, just God, don't let me have a debate with not one person here, please. Um, and those pivoted. I got very systematic. I kind of built it out one at a time. So I have 4 events. I have Cookies with Santa, the Easter Bash, Summer Barbecue, and the Harvest Bash. And they started public. And at this point, they're completely by invite only. And we see between 3 to 450 mob members attend.
that's impressive. That's a lot of people.
Thank you. Well, again, in the families I serve, so I do serve like I have a big Polynesian set of clients. I have so it is impressive, but I also have families that roll like 20 deep. So so it's like, it's easy to get to 450 when you have families, and myself too. I'm a family compound and I have 12 at home. So it's easy to get there with big families. But so yeah, I would just say, like my advice on it is, number one, I think one of the best lead gen things you can ever do is events. It just gives you a reason to speak. It gives you a reason to invite people. It gives you the ability to meet new people. In the beginning of my events, I literally walked around and was like, hi, how'd you hear about the event? Like, that's how I got to know people. And then also the other hack around them too is, like, life gets crazy and it gets chaotic, and every once in a while I'll have somewhere where I'm just missed, like, and I just don't have the time to pull off an event. Don't underestimate the power of a virtual event. So we've done like coloring contests for kids around Halloween. You could do it around Christmas. So like right now, if you're feeling like, oh, I just don't even have like the time or the bandwidth, like rethink that, because you could do something fun. You could do a fun coloring contest. You could do I did a holiday light. So in my neighborhood, I did a light competition. I just sent out flyers, put up signs, and I was like, I'm going to judge it on this night. And the winner's going to get a $150 gift card. So there's a lot of things that you can do. One of the things that is really, I think, overlooked in our industry is micro events, because everybody's doing these big events that require like all the things. You can totally simplify it, and you can do small events. You can do virtual events. You can do micro events. I do a mom's night out where I literally just take my favorite moms and we just go to the movies and watch like the newest rom-com. So it can be really small too. Was that
I
helpful
love
for you?
that. Yeah, the mom's night out, I love that. Because I also feel like when I plan events, I have to, for some reason, make sure that they're large and lavish and I go all out. And I feel like it takes so much energy and time and money to plan that
Yeah.
doing those more personable micro events more frequently, and maybe more so like just one large event, would maybe be more beneficial.
Yes. And I will tell you this too. That was also me. We can talk about it another day, and maybe I should even do a training on this. But at this point, those big events I do, I'm usually under $500 in my investment, but I'm extremely intentional in my partner relationships. And so each fourth quarter, I sit down with, so right now I'm getting ready to do it. I'll, for instance, call my title company and I'll say, hey, can you pull every prelim I opened with you this year? And can we meet for lunch? And I'm doing that so that they obviously have a heightened awareness of like what that business looked like. And to be so transparent with you, this year, I moved companies. I am rebranding. I'm launching nationally. I like everything that you could imagine I've done. I've burnt my business to the ground. And so like calling and saying, hey, like open those prelims, like they're not that impressive this year. My production's down by like 50%. So this year it's more like a mission conversation. Like this is my mission next year. I want to be in alignment, and I'm having those conversations with business partners now to say, will you be my strategic partner for fourth quarter? Identifying what winning looks like for each of us, and then saying, okay, as my strategic partner, I would like to partner with you on this event. And what that partnership looks like is you'll contribute X, or you'll sponsor Santa, or you'll sponsor the Grinch, or whatever it is. And that really, really allows me to keep the cost down. Like I said, all 4 of my events, I'm under 1,500 to 2,000. And those are pretty elaborate events, just so you know. Like, so another event hack is compound. So I personally am a mission-based real estate team anyway. So I always want to be doing something for the community. We compounded our toy drive with our Christmas event, and it allowed us to partner with like a local hotel that gives us the venue for pennies on the dollar. So the ballroom that would cost us probably $4,000, they are gracious enough to allow us to do it for like a few $100s. I know I'm fire hosing you, but hopefully you're getting some good ideas.
No, I'm glad you brought up your partners and asking the title companies. I have such a hard time doing that, and I don't know why, because I tend to send the same lenders and the same title company a lot of my business. And I don't know why I have such a hard time asking if they want to partner for events. I almost feel like I'm like, hey, do you want to give me money for this? I don't know. It's just I want to do it, but I am so awkward and I suck at it.
Oh my gosh, you and I are the same human. So that is why I started doing more of the like, hey, can you open the prelim? And then identifying success. Here's the thing that happens is we get in our own heads, right? And we assume that success to them in a partnership looks like 4 deals a month or whatever it is. And then we're worried about like not delivering enough value to have an ask. And so whether you're in a brand new partnership, whether your production has been high or low, no matter where you've been, if you can have a conversation around what does a successful partnership look like for us, and you can identify that, the second you can say a deal a month or whatever it is, a deal a quarter, whatever it is, that success, and you know you're pacing for that, or you know you can actually hit it, that's going to change the framework and make you so much more comfortable asking them to be your partner, because now you feel like it's an equal partnership. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Let me show you something if you want. If you guys, is this good for everybody? Is everybody getting information on good value here? Angelica, can you give me the ability to share my screen? I just want to show you one other hack that I did. So I don't know why I can't share my screen on my own Zoom. I have the worst tech issues. Like it's the
It
weirdest
should be
things.
good now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
here is my last year's vendor email that I sent out. And what I did here is I'm saying, hey, valued business partners, let's kick off our 24 partnerships growing strong. So I'm like telling them, but I'm telling them that this is like exclusive for them to secure their first spot. So save your spot. And here's the details here. So I let them secure their spot for either being the featured sponsor for face painting, for balloon creation, or photography. And literally they could click here. The links might be broken now. Oh, they're not. So they can click here and they can see like, oh, they're going to be the official sponsor for balloon twisting, $150, and they can literally pay right then and there. And then I'm letting them know that they could still commit to being a barrel partner, meaning that I'm going to drop off a barrel at their location for them to raise toys. And so that they can do that. And then I'm thanking the current partners already. So I'm already coming out and saying thank you to the current partners. So this email was also a game changer for me. I think I had 2. Let's see, this one was, I think I had 2 in this system. Yeah. So again, it's time for the toy drive. I think this one was actually, I'm sorry, that one was for our clients, but you can see here on this one, how we did that. And we just included the link. So it was super easy. And I changed the messaging up to be like exclusive, like, hey, I don't want you to miss the opportunity to partner with us on this event.
I like that it's an email too. It takes the confrontation out of it. And then when you do have those conversations after, like you said, when you were having, them pull numbers and you go to lunch, you have it all laid out.
Yeah. And the email came because I messed up and I didn't have those conversations. And then I was like, oh, dang, I'm about to pay for a full event and I haven't done that before. And so I was like, all right, let's position it this way. Otherwise, typically what I do with my events is I get ready in the 4th quarter and I outline every single thing I'm doing for the entire year. So I have a calendar that is my master calendar. And I build it out. Let me see if I can show that to you. And I build it out. I haven't built out my 2025, but here's my 2024. So you can see on my calendar, this helps me because I'm ahead of it. So it's like I've had the conversation with them. So you can see, like, I know when my letter of the heart's going out. I know when my like when I have certain events. And so Easter, mom's movie night, harvest, Santa, lead days for me, because I have a team, I have lead days prior to the events, pop buys. So I'm substituting for Valentine's and 4th. I'm not doing events, but I'm doing pop buys, but you can see everything. So, including my days off. So right now I'll plan 2025 and then I know everything that's happening. And that helps me again to be that much more confident in my ask, because I know exactly what I'm asking for and I'm asking ahead of time. Oh, hold on one sec. Somebody's done that. Okay. So yay. Does that give you some ideas around some events?
Definitely. I like that you have your calendar too planned out for the year. I'm really bad at that and I'm very month by month. So that also gives me an idea of something that I probably should get better at.
And I feel like that's the thing that is like that's what paralyzes you, is like all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, it's November and everybody's having events and I'm supposed to have an event. And then that's another thing too. Like there's this big thought that because the industry now is moving towards these, there's this concept and this notion that we have to have events, right? And so then we're scrambling to have these events and then it's last minute. And then we're all of a sudden, you know, at the end of the day, we're just driving our profit down, driving it down, driving it down. And you really want to have a highly profitable business and a life-giving business. So like, that's why you want to make sure that you have intentionality. So like for me, another thing I'll share with you real quick is like, I haven't done 2025, but this is one of the most exciting things to me in my business is this is my days off. And I do this in the fourth quarter of the year before, and I send it to my business partners and they about die. They're like, wait, are you working? But I literally say, okay, here's my remainder holidays for this year. And then here's every day that I'm working, that I'm off next year, that I'm closing the office. Here's all my days out. Here's my days out for work. And then here's all my immediate family members' birthdays. So do not schedule me after 2 p.m. So I know that seems like a lot and it seems hard, but I promise you, if you just spend one day in your fourth quarter, envision your micro events, your big events, your micro events, what you want it to be like, what you enjoy doing. If you enjoy having a ladies' night every single month, just have a ladies' night with 5 other women every month and never ever do a big event. But these can be the game changers in your business because this can become your biggest referral source and your biggest lead gen.
Super
Now,
organized. Love that.
Were you gonna
when
ask something?
you yes. So, how much time do you actually dedicate to planning your micro versus macro events? I feel like when I have macro events, the second I know that it's happening or I start to plan it, I obsess over it, I get anxiety over it, and I feel like it's then it's taking so much out of my day to day, with like my normal real estate stuff. So,
So-
realistically, what do you do?
So would you believe I have a system? I'm sorry, I'm crazy, but this is how I took that process away. I spent the time to build out exactly what I want the event to look like and how I want it to go. So what I'm doing 2 months before, what I'm doing 2 weeks before, 2 days before, 5 days before, event day, how I'm closing it out. So one of the biggest hacks was no event is going to ever be exactly how you want it to be, but debriefing after the event and finding out like what was missing, what was good, what was bad. Like 2 years ago, I was like, oh my goodness, the face painting line was a disaster. It was like out the door. There was so many, like I need a second face painter. And so doing that every year just allows me to elaborate on this. And so by building out this process at this point, this event, which you can kind of see through photos, how it has scaled, like you can see year over year, like it started in our office, then it moved to a conference room. Then, you can see the toy drive, how it scaled, but it now at this point, to be completely honest with you, planning my events take me like an hour and a half, 2 hours, because even the vendor partners, even the all the people I partner with, everything, it's like, hi, great to do this with you another year.
You're so organized. I love it.
Oh my goodness. I love that my assistant's on this call so she can hear somebody say I'm so organized. The truth is I crave organization. And without it, I'm totally chaotic. So I just have really, really amazing staff members that deal with me. And I'm like, okay, I need a visual. Like I can't just have an SOP that's just like, do this, do that. I can't have an ugly checklist. I need a full on presentation with pictures, because here's the truth. The truth is, like, even with my Easter one, the reason there's photos through it is because then people know what I expect in the setup. And it's just so simple. Like, so whether my staff changes, whether it's my staff that changes, whether it's my team that changes, no matter what changes, I just hand them a process that's duplicatable. Like this year, we're taking our team national, and I was nervous at first because I was like, okay, am I going to bring enough value to my partners? And then I was like, wait a minute, I can just hand them over. Like, oh, you want to have a Cookies with Santa event? Here you go. Just do this in your market. So yeah, I would just say to tie this all together for you. have fun. Are you a team or are you a solo agent?
I'm a team.
Okay, get yourself a hotel room or something fun, order in some food, have a pajama party, and you guys sit together and have a 1-day planning session and plan your events and put it on a calendar, and just know that it can be built on year after year. You don't have to have everything in there this year. You might add 2 or 3 events that didn't make it in the calendar, but then the next year they do. When you do that, and then you can have intentionality around I promise you, before you know it, 3 years in, these events are going to be like clockwork. These events happen, and I don't want to say they're easy because there's still a lot of work that goes into them. And some years, like this year, I pivoted. We're not doing Santa this year. We're doing the Grinch. So it's going to require new marketing, but that will be so fun for your team to do. And it'll be so life-giving because then you can like envision what you want to do with the events.
Yeah, that's a great idea too.
Yeah. And that's one of my events that's on the calendar, is my annual pajama party planning session with my team. And it's super fun. Okay, good. I hope you got some value there. Sorry, I just like showed you all kinds of stuff, but you talk to me about events and I get excited. I'm
No,
like a
thank
kid at the
you.
candy store.
It helped a lot. So sorry, I kind of hijacked the beginning of the.
Oh no, you're totally good.
Okay.
I was telling Tamika just a minute ago because we messed up, and it's the fourth Thursday of every month. And then Christy, who I actually don't know how she's not on here, Tamika, I saw you tagged her, but Christy commented and was like, are we really meeting on Thanksgiving? And first off, I just love that Christy was like, hey, are we doing this on Thanksgiving? She was like, here for it. But so we pivoted very last minute. And so I'm so thankful you showed up and asked, because that's my biggest fear, is that I'm not going to deliver value on a call. So, all right. Anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
How long have you been in real estate? I'm sure it's on your page somewhere or something, but I just can't remember.
23 years, but my first, from like 2002 when I got licensed to like 2010, I didn't sell anything unless like it fell in my lap. And then in 2010, I call it my storm season. Very long story short is my marriage went through, I know people go through like the 7-year itch. I went through the 17-year itch. So my husband and I were temporarily separated. My son was starting chemo. My autistic nephew needed a new home. An at-risk youth I was coaching needed a home. My nephew got put out, all of the things. So I found myself with no income and the sole support for my own 3 children, plus 4 additional children, 2 of which had special needs. And I had to travel back and forth for my son to do his treatment. So there was no way I could commit to a job. So in 2010, I was like, I better make this real estate thing work. And the rest is history. It's been like a roller coaster. But man, is God good, because I have changed my family's life through real estate.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
I've been around a while. What about you?
Hey,
How long?
nothing wrong with that. January of 21.
Oh, that's a time to get in. That was a wild ride. So
Oh my gosh.
are you feeling a little deflated now, kind of coming off the cocaine-fueled frat party?
Not really.
Good,
No.
good. I love that. Ready to do the work?
I'm ready to do the work. I am trying to figure out how to build a good referral system.
Like
That's what I want to
agent or
figure.
client referral?
Agent to agent.
Agent to
Because
agent.
I'm in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and there's 5 million agents here
Yep.
in Atlanta. So, if you're in any other groups that, they put out a request, you're going to give 500
Mm-hmm.
me, and I'm trying to figure out how to be that person that you just pick the phone up and call and say, Tamika, I have someone for you, not that you have to post online. So
Right.
that's what I want to work on.
So let me ask you a question. How many agents are you talking to a day?
So that is a very good question, and I don't talk to a lot. But I did tell someone in another group that I'm in that I'm going to start tomorrow, calling 5 agents. I'm not going to commit to every day. I'm like, I'm going to try, but if not every day, at least a week.
Yep.
5 a week. So like I already picked actually I have 6 that I already picked for tomorrow that I'm going to, because I told them I was going to start tomorrow. So I already have those. So I'm going to start with.
Okay.
Yep.
So so biggest thing is like events like this are going to be huge, right? Because it's in the small rooms that the relationships are built. That's a misconception. A lot of people like to go to the big events, and you can get lost in the big events. It's no different than what you're saying. You get lost in your market because there's so much. So the more small rooms you can get in, the better. And you need to have 2 agent goals a day. I mean, okay, so it doesn't have to be a day. It can be collectively a week. So maybe it's, 3 new agent conversations a week. But the 2 things that you definitely need are you need, oh man, sorry, I just got a text about somebody that owns a real estate school that I always referred to passing away. That's horrible. So the 2 things that you always need are you need to have new agent conversations. And then the key is you have to have relationship deepening conversations. So you can't just meet 5 new agents a week and expect to get an agent to agent referral business. You have to go deeper. So I would say you need to go deeper with 3 agents. And it's literally just showing up and serving and having the conversations and getting to know people and asking the questions, right? So I think that will be hugely powerful for you. And Tamika, did you happen to know that Moms in Real Estate is rolling out a referral network?
I did. I think you had.
Did you sign up?
A Google sheet? Yes.
Yep. Okay, good, good. So I apologize. I was supposed to launch it last month, but it's been crazy. And that is kind of my dream too, is to really just create a tenured community. Because don't get me wrong, I'm so thankful that I get tagged as often as I do. But sometimes I'll just be honest with you, even when I get 5 or 6 or 7 tags on a post, when I arrive and there's already 50 comments, I'm already exhausted. Like, I don't even want to throw my name in the hat because I just don't want to operate like that. And also, I find it so interesting that agents do business off of like a Facebook recommendation. Like it just, I've done it a few times. I mean, I've put it out there, and especially in my own group, right? I'll say like, hey, I have this, but it's interesting to me because maybe 1 out of 20 agents will actually take the effort to like message me privately or talk to me privately outside of the post. And I think there's something so powerful happens when you can actually edify somebody. So if I can say like, oh, listen, like if you're looking in Atlanta, you got to talk to my girl, Tamika. Like Tamika understands this, like if I can actually edify you, that's going to change the client relationship. So one of the things I'm most excited to do, I don't know if you know this because I didn't put much information out, but our referral network is coming with a mastermind. And I want the monthly mastermind to exist specifically so that the agents can build deeper relationships, so that you can edify each other, right? And so at first, the last referral network I built, we grew to like 4,000, 5,000 agents pretty quick. And then I was like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay if we don't grow quick. I'm okay if we don't grow super fast. I would rather, oh, look at this. My mama's showing up to Buns Up, Bras Off. I would rather us be able to fully edify each other and actually be in relationship. And so that when we're out in these other groups in these places, it's not like, oh, just tagging Tamika. It's like, you know what? I'm actually going, and this is what I tell people about referral business all the time. Okay. Here is a huge thing. And I don't mean to go on a tangent. I apologize. Feel free to tell me not to hijack. No. But what agents don't understand is you don't need 100 people to refer to you. Any business only needs a handful of advocates. But the difference between advocates and people that refer you is somebody that refers you is like, oh yeah, if you're looking to buy or sell, you should call my friend Tamika. An advocate is like, I'm so sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your dinner, but I just overheard you talking about real estate. And if you are looking at real estate in the Atlanta area, you have got to connect with Tamika. An advocate will inject themselves in a conversation to advocate for you, right? And that is what I'm so excited about with our referral network is I don't want to just give you 100 referral partners. I want to give you 100 advocates that are actually going to take the extra time to send a DM to somebody that they know that makes a post that says, hey, listen, I just wanted to connect you directly with Tamika. I saw you're looking for somebody in Atlanta. So I wanted to personally introduce you to Tamika, who I would highly refer. That's a different level of edification than just tagging somebody in Facebook post.
Like, you know, your brothers are gone.
Right.
Now that I went on my tangent. Tamika, you guys talk to me about events, referrals. You guys got me all riled up over here.
Hey, we're trying to get all of the good info, okay?
Good. I'm
trying to grow.
You know, I'm not coaching anymore, and so you guys give me an outlet, so I appreciate it so much. I saw that Julie said she had a piggyback question. Julie, did you want to ask your question? And just so you know, Tamika and I mean, we like seeing each other, but no matter how you guys look, no matter where you are, this is buns up, bras off. Like, you know, the boob sweat is real right now. This is a safe zone. Just turn your cameras on and hang out with us.
Because my hair looks horrible.
Hey,
I'm
Julie,
sitting
did you
in
have a
bed.
question?
That's why I didn't want to turn on my camera because I was like, okay, I'm just like laying in bed and
Well, you're on like the East Coast, right?
yes, it's 8:11. What is it? 8:32 here.
Yeah. So you're
When
totally good to be in, like, you're good to be in bed. Don't
cen-
worry about it.
Central Time, yes, Central Time.
Oh yeah, yep. So you have 1 hour less than East Coast. I love that. Julie, are you still on? Did you have a question? Yay! Hey,
Yeah,
Julie.
I did have a question. So I asked earlier, for those of you that are like in teams, just kind of trying to figure out, so currently I work in a real estate team. She's not a broker, she's an agent, and I work in inside sales. I have my license in California, and I will have my license here in Virginia shortly. So I do get paid like, you know, a flat amount plus like my bonuses and for any live listings or any like ratified buyers. I want to switch over to more of an agent role,
Mhm.
but I'm trying to figure out like how that would make sense or what would be like a good way to kind of start that.
So help me just to make sure we understand the question before anybody jumps in on it. So right now you exist in an admin role for one agent. Is it the same agent in both markets?
Yeah, so no, so I work inside sales. So I
Okay.
basically do pretty much everything as far as like communication with the clients, getting them pre-approved, getting them through. I just don't show the homes, and then I just don't
Nice.
go to the listing appointments because I'm currently not licensed here. But I'm trying to
Got
like
it.
figure out how to shift that over and what would be a good start, or like what would be a good way to like ask for like compensation wise
Yeah. So I have
for
all
it to
the
make
thoughts.
sense.
Yeah, I have all the thoughts, but I definitely want to hear what any of the other ladies on the call might want to share or have to say.
And then I also just like background, I've been licensed since 2011. I've been in real estate since 2010 off and on. So I don't necessarily need like the backup of the agent herself to guide me along the way. It's more so just I started to learn the area here was
Okay.
kind of my
And
reason
those
to.
calls, those ISA calls, are those like online lead gen, like YLOPO, different ads, or where are those coming from?
Yeah, so like Zillow leads, Homelight leads, she has her own CRM. And then I also don't want to use like my sphere to put in her CRM for her past clients for her to contact. Like I want to keep that separate as well. So I want it to make sense for me as well as her, but I'm not really sure like what would be a good start to ask like.
Yeah, love that. Does anybody have anything they want to share with Julie? Guys are gonna leave it to me, huh? Okay, so I've seen these models work a lot of different ways with licensed ISAs. I personally had a licensed ISA, and they did get a portion of the transaction. And you said you're salaried, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so most very successful ISAs have a salary plus they get a percentage. So usually what will happen is does she have any other agents on her team, or is she just producing her own business?
No, she has, so it's a team of, there's 4 inside sales, and then she
You're on a big
has
team.
two agents that show or go on listing appointments. And then if she needs to do like the higher end listing appointments, she'll go on them.
she probably has, she's running like a micro team model where she's the primary producer, and then she has
Yeah.
smart woman.
So
Okay.
everybody, like all of the listings are under her,
Under
all
her.
of the contacts are under her.
Yep. Okay, well, kudos to her. One of the bottlenecks, unfortunately, is, that as we grow people, they grow and they want more opportunities, right? And so you have to figure out how to provide them. And it sounds like you have been successful in the ISA part. And now it's kind of like, it's time to have a growth conversation of what that looks like. So a couple things that I've seen ISAs get structured is where if the agents are getting compensation, so if the agents are getting commission, they will be on a different split. So they'll probably be on like a 50-50 or a 60-40 split for any appointments that are set by the ISA. And so it's a 10% less because the 10% then goes to the ISA. And a lot of team leaders will actually only give like 8% to the ISA, and then they'll take 2% so that it goes to their bottom line. But I will say that the first thought I have is, depending on what her model is that, maybe even tiered metrics I've seen for ISAs where it's like, okay, you get your salary up until X amount of appointments or up until X amount of closings. And then starting at this closing every single year, you get 10%. And then moving up to this amount of closings, you get 15%. So then you scale so that your income is growing the more successful you are as an ISA. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Another thought I have for you, and by no means, it's sometimes hard for me because I never want to I obviously don't know the team you work for, the person, and hopefully she's amazing to you, and that's great. So I never want to plant the seed of not being there, but there are brokerages where you can have a license in multiple markets. And what I will say to you is ISA is a very specific skill, and it's a very valuable skill, right? Because the truth is 90% of us as agents don't want to pick up the phone and get the rejection. That's what we don't want to do. So I would just encourage you to also think about what that business could look like for you personally, because I think that there's probably dozens and dozens of teams that would happily pay you referral fees. And you could also be in multiple markets with your own license and get much heavier referral fees on those transactions as well. So I had a guy that from church, he loved to just cold dial like it was his thing. He just loved to cold call, just one-offs. You guys are beasts because that's just not most people. And he would cold call Zillow people, and he built his business literally. He serviced them in the beginning, but then he's like, I don't want to service them, and I want to move, to Idaho, and I want to be with my kids all day long. And even with me, I worked out a deal, and I was like, dude, any appointment you book me, I'll give you a 30% referral. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. If somebody's going to tee me up an appointment and I close the appointment, I'll give you your cut. And so I think you need to think about that. Depending on what those appointments look like, what could it look like for your business? And this is where you have to model stuff out. And this is where it gets hard because it's depending if you're emotionally invested in the team, you might want to just ask her about a tier, but also don't sell yourself short. What would it look like if you set appointments and then 4 of those deals got closed a month and you got a 30% referral on those? What would the difference be in your business? Had you thought about a model like that before?
No, I've just kind of been going back and forth with my husband, trying to figure out, what makes sense. And I'm like, I don't want to be stuck behind a desk. I do want to have my own time and
business
structure. Yeah, which is the purpose of me getting into real estate to begin with. So working with her was kind of get my feet wet in the area, learn a little bit, and just kind of see. So now I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting my license here, ready to basically rock and roll and figure out what that looks like or what it should look like starting out.
What would winning look like for you 90 days from now? You got your license and you're ready to build your own thing. What does that look like? What does that look like production wise? What does that look like time wise?
I mean, I would be able to, and that's where I'm like, okay, how many sales, how many closings, how many people would I need to call, and kind of narrowing it down to how many people do I need to contact daily? How many, closings would I need per month to be where I'm at now? And
based off of your salary. You want to match your salary.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm able to do that at least. And I feel like with the group that I'm in, I feel like the financials are from like probably 10 years back because there's not a percentage. It's like a base amount. So the numbers sometimes don't make sense for the amount that is required because we are required to answer our phones on the weekends. We're required to do basically the same thing that an agent does. You know, we need to be available at all times, but it's not for our sale. We're getting, you know.
Yeah, it's a smart model. I mean, it's a very smart model. It's an admin it's a profitable admin model. So I have a tool I made that I use to coach agents to help them to scale their business, and it's called the Profit Playbook. And what it does is it lets you reverse engineer. So you don't have to tell me if you're not comfortable, but if you identify the amount you need, what it will do is I'll just show you. Hold on, I'll just show you mine. So if you put in here the amount you need, and then you put in your average price per transaction and your average commission and your average split, it'll tell you how many closings you need, which is great, right? And I can talk about that another time, identifying your survival number and your thriving number. But what it does for you is it breaks down what your numbers look like based off of standard conversion. Your conversion might be a little bit better, a little bit worse. But so I know for my production, I need 149 buyer leads and I need 28 seller leads. And then, which this one I haven't redone for this year because we're going to go much heavier with listings. Last year we were 30% listing heavy, but anyhow, it breaks it down to weekly as well. And so this is like one of my biggest hacks as a mom is knowing. So I know that I need basically 3 buyer leads a week. And then I want really strong conversion and I want strong numbers. So my personal rule is to get 3 people to lending. And so like winning my day or winning my week is based off of that. So my goal is to hit that by like as early in the week by noon as I can, like win my day by noon. But if it's Friday at 4:00 and I haven't sent 3 people to lending, then I know I need to pivot and like I don't get off work yet because I got to send 3 people to lending to hit my numbers. So I'm getting ready. I think I'm going to, you guys tell me if it would be valuable. I think I'm going to host a virtual workshop that I did last year as well for some agents where you can go through this and you can actually set this and then have that number. Would that be something that would be valuable to you ladies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Angelica, I know you're on here. Will you make a note for us to look at the calendar and see when I could do an annual planning session virtual for everybody?
Sure.
And don't worry, I'll give you the tools. I don't sell anything. Just remember, guys, if you ever look at a brokerage change, I do love partnering with people at my brokerage. Okay. That's all I ever ask, that you remember that we're in the brokerage partnering business. But yeah, I'll get you that so then you can reverse it. But I would just really sit down and kind of identify, like if in 90 days, your success is, 50% to replacing that or whatever. But just make sure you're realistic too. And it's funny because I want to say to you, keep in mind that you're going to move from like that employee role to that full business owner, right? Because you're going to have to do your own marketing, your own lead gen, your own thing. And in theory, that should be a big pivot to you. But the fact that you're like not just dialing and you're taking inbound calls and you're nurturing and you're warming and you're on, like, I don't know that it would be a huge disruption to what you're used to. Usually ISAs are used to, 4 to 6 hours a day, Monday through Friday, weekends off. They're used to a much smaller workload with a salary plus bonuses, but it doesn't sound like that's what you have. It sounds like you have a salary and you're on call all the time. So it sounds like it sounds like you would just keep more of the money. Sounds like you would just be more profitable.
Yeah, that's where we're at. Like, it's funny. And I'll get kind of annoyed about it, but like my husband, like I'll tell him like, oh, I got the listing. And he's like, oh, how much was that? Like $200, and I'm like, ugh. and it's
Oh,
like,
that's
he's
worse.
like,
I
I'm just
used
trying
to
to
track.
motivate you.
Yeah, I used to track it. He's right. He's a smart guy. One of the things I used to track was lost transactions. And it was like so painful, but I wanted to understand, why did I lose them? Like, what happened? Was it, was it the deal doctoring? Was it, my personality? Was it my servicing? What was it? But then also it was like motivating for me, because I was like, well, man, if I lost 20 grand this year, like, imagine if I get it together. You know what I mean? I'm like, I could make 40 grand. Like, it is, he's smart, because sometimes what you lose is more motivating than what you gain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, was that, Julie, was that helpful? I want to make sure you get good value. Was that insightful and helpful?
Yeah, that was. And then when will you be doing the
I'm going to have Angelica check we have our weekly meeting. So I'll have her see when we do a lot of like master classes. And we usually do them on Mondays, but I haven't done any my own self. So I don't see why we can't pencil myself onto the calendar here in the next couple Mondays. So we'll get that penciled in. And then Angelica, if you all registered for the Zoom, right? So I'll have Angelica send out an email with all the information so you guys have it. Okay, anybody else have any other questions? Liz, how's business for you?
Good. I'm in South Texas, so right now we're doing a lot of leases for hunting and hunters and sportsmen, because that's what we do right now in this time of year in this area where everything kind of is in the slow, holiday
Mhm.
season. So we look forward to the hunters coming in, and our Airbnbs are full, and our leases are in the ranches are getting tight now. So now even people are starting to try to book for next year. So that's kind of what we do at this time of year here.
That's so cool. I was just at a retreat, and one of the gals came from, I don't know if East Houston is a thing, probably not. Anyway, she came from somewhere kind of close to Houston. And she was saying to me that right now leases are a big portion for her. And so that's interesting to me how everybody's market. Does anybody else do leases? Yeah, no, like I can do them, but so I did property management for like 20 years. But what sucks in my market is like, there's no, like, you don't have to put inventory on the MLS, and there's no compensation back forth. So like my friend in Miami, he does leases, and I think that you get like, I think the commission is equal to like 1 month's lease. I mean, yeah, to 1 month's lease, and then it's split between the agents. And I'm like, dang, what is, like, something needs to change in my market, because the comp is like $60. And don't get me wrong, I want to help people. But when they're like, oh, I need you to find me a house, and I have no database and I have no MLS to find them a house, and my compensation's like $55, I'm like, I cannot afford to do this.
No, down here it's a equal split. It's 1 month, and then we split the two agents. So it's sometimes it's worth it, because sometimes you'll get somebody that'll sign on a deer lease for like $10,000, but it's like $1,000 a month. So I mean, we get $500, and we get to run around and meet new people. And then I had a hunter that for 10 years he was leasing his own ranches, and he finally bought one, and he called me and he says, help me get this land, and I did. So then, I saw a good compensation there.
I love that. I love that. That is really good. That is really good. All right, ladies. Well, we're coming up on the last 10 minutes. I always like to make sure we end promptly, because I love that you guys jump on here with us. But anybody else have, I mean, you can share a win, you can share a struggle, you can just share that you haven't choked your child lately, whatever you want. But you're not allowed to get off this call without value. So if you don't leave saying buns up, bras off, gave me all the value I need, we have to sit on this call till 9 o'clock tonight. Let me know. Let's see. I saw that a couple other people jumped on. So we talked. So Julie, you. By the way, Julie, you have like a very pretty bedroom. I'm like in the middle of redoing mine, and I was like digging your vibes there behind you. Kaylee, we
Thank
talked
you.
to Liz, Tamika. I think everybody. Nope, Michelle. Michelle has her hand up, and she hasn't spoke. Michelle, we would love to hear from you. I'm playing the Jeopardy music in my head. Michelle, are you still on? Maybe she jumped off. shoot, she had her hand up, so maybe we missed her question.
I have a question, like, what type of setup do you have? Because like your screen, your camera is really crisp and it looks really pretty, and your voice, you know, everything comes through. What is your setup that you?
So I just have a Logitech, like just a regular webcam. And then I have, they're a little bit hard to show you, but I'll try to. So they're these, do you see this light right here? They're like these two little mini lights. Angelica, you can grab my link from Jordy and we can give it to Liz. We probably should put it somewhere. But it's just these two little lights are like $40. I only have one on right now. So typically when I have the other one, it's more bright. And then I just have my webcam and then I have an arm mic. So just an arm mic. Yep. And just my regular daily setup for, you know, meeting clients and all the things, but it's super affordable. I think like all in, I was at like $200 or $300. Like I was not super fancy.
Michelle is saying on the chat that it's not letting her unmute.
Oh man, let's see. Do you want to type? Oh, it's weird. It says, tells me she's not in the meeting. Michelle, do you want to try to type a question or if anything you want to say? I just want to make sure. Yes, mommy, I can see you. My mom's on the call. Hi, mom. My mom's also a real estate agent, just so that we're clear though. I didn't like text my mom and wasn't like, hey mom, get on the call with me. She is in the business. My mom is my original partner, the one who bought me like 50 grand worth of marketing before I had my first listing. So she's the real deal. She believed in me before I knew what the heck I was doing. Okay, doesn't look like it's letting Michelle. Oh, wait, she's coming back in. She's coming back in. Maybe she like logged out and tried to log back in. Did that work, Michelle? Okay, let's see. I hit ask to unmute. What in the heck? I saw you came back in, Michelle. I was hoping that it would let you unmute. Okay, Tamika Atlanta. Oh man, it's not working. Okay, Tamika Atlanta, Julie, Virginia, Liz, Texas, Michelle, where are you at? And then Kaylee, where are you? And let's see, Kaylee, where are you?
I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland, Ohio. Ohio's like so heavy in my life now. I never thought I'd have so many ties to Ohio. Hi, buddy. Hi. What's your name?
Hold on. Come on, top.
Hello.
What's your name?
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Okay. She said, what's your name?
Kelly Jr.
Kellen Jr.
Kellen Jr. I have a junior too. He's a mama's boy.
Well, he's a daddy's boy.
Well,
But
nice
yeah.
to meet you.
She said, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
He's
All
so
right.
cute. Michelle, I'm so sorry it's not working, but feel free to reach out to me. One of the things, in case any of you ever need anything, one of the things, so we'll wrap up on this note, but you know, Kristen and I, we obviously built Moms in Real Estate because it's our heart and our mission to make sure that no mom is left behind. We just want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to build a successful business. And so it's our mission to educate, empower, and encourage you. And so obviously we have tons of free resources. If you ever want to get into business deeper, and this might be something, Kaylee, that you like, Kristen's, her baby is her chapters. So she actually does networking chapters for women in real estate to build their chapters for other entrepreneurs. And there's actually one in Cleveland. So Kaylee, you might want to know about that if you ever want to make content with other people. And then my thing is, obviously, you know, I have a national real estate team, so I'm always building that. And then we're always partnering with agents at our brokerage. So if we can ever do anything or you ever want to go deeper, you can. But also as another free value that we offer moms in real estate, I do agent success calls. So you can always book one of those agent success calls if you just want to jump on a quick 15-minute strategy session or just get some extra coaching or something or mentoring there. It is obviously just our heart to see you all succeed and win. So thank you so much, Kaylee. I saw you said absolutely. So if you want to connect with me directly, I will actually connect you with the chapter leader. I was just with her. Her name's Andrea. I'm pretty sure it's Andrea. I always pronounce Andrea's and Andrea's wrong. But she's super fun and those chapters are amazing. And so there's 2 of them in Ohio, one in Columbus and one in Dayton. No, Columbus and Cleveland. Columbus and Cleveland are where they're at. Wait, Michelle, are you unmuted now?
Can you hear? Yeah, can you hear me? Yay! Okay, I'm sorry you can't see me. I'm nursing a baby to sleep, my little one. Okay, but I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
So I am, oh, I see she's in Virginia Beach. I'm in Virginia Beach too. So I'm just moving from Florida actually. So I have been in Florida as a realtor for the last 8 years and just moved to Virginia and am starting all over building brand new business. And I have a 1-year-old. And my question really is, I want to keep my license active in Florida and I'm trying to create a model of basically referral agents down in Florida to work with and I jumped on late and I think you might have been talking about something similar to this right when I jumped on, but I'm trying to create, I just didn't know if you've ever heard of or know of anybody I want to create basically a lead generation for new construction because there's so much new construction down in the part of Florida that I came from and look at how to possibly just almost like work from Virginia on Florida leads and passing them on to builders and new construction and creatively build a revenue stream basically with my Florida real estate license to allow me to stay home with my little one for a couple years and not be and instead of, I guess, really starting from scratch in Virginia, I'm looking at options.
Yeah, well, first, let me just say kudos for thinking outside the box. That's amazing because I don't know. We just have this habit inside of real estate to just scale what other people build, and we just think that's how it has to be done. And the truth is you can build whatever the heck you want. I have a friend who is a military family who was actually in Virginia. I'm not exactly sure where in Virginia, but then they got transferred, they PCS to Florida, and she runs her Virginia team from Florida. And so as far as it goes, I know a lot of people. I know one gal, there was a gal that came on this call, talk about a unique business model. A couple months back, she came on one of our Buns Up Bras Off, one of our bigger calls, that was in a month that wasn't super busy. And she lives in Texas and only sells houses in Florida. And she serves high-end clients and literally just flies into Florida when she's going to show somebody a house. And I was just like, where have I been living that I didn't know this was an option? I'll fly in and show you a house. But anyways, so yeah, you can definitely build that. There's a builder's website and I stumbled upon it a year ago. And it's like New Home Source is the site and it's a very familiar builder site. But if somebody wanted to do digging, there was some layer of how they partner with agents. So the 2 things is I would find out how to partner with agents that way, because a lot of the model homes have moved to you don't have to walk in the door and physically register them. So I would try to find those builders, that you could, or find somebody that you can give a flat fee to take your client in there and register them. So find either a showing partner that will take them to the house, the location physically, or find the builders that will allow you to register them online. And then the next component that's going to allow you to do that is 100% social. So just get very clear on your social media, niche down, be the new construction agent for Florida. And, obviously go into the actual area in Florida. And then all of your content, just continually new agent content, putting out new agent stuff. And the good thing about the models and the new construction is most of them have platforms where you can get clips of videos and you can get things. So, repurposing and sharing those reels and things like that, that's going to be huge for you. So just kind of go all in on being that new construction Florida expert and don't even lead with the conversation you're rarely going to say you're not in Florida. Like that's actually going to be
Right.
like you're intaking a client and you're like, by the way, you know, I'm actually at my home in Virginia, but don't worry about it. It's not going to disrupt your, you know what I mean? That's going to be such a rare thing for people to actually not know you're there.
Yeah, I'm struggling because I just had another agent within Florida that I had done business with before on the opposite side of the deal. She called me and was like, she didn't know I moved to Virginia, and so she said, basically it was a referral, and it was she was referring me a buyer, but they wanted to see a condo like the next day, and so I couldn't. And I'm in Virginia, and I was like, I could not make it work to get down there the next day to you know, and then the challenge was, okay, well, even if I were to go down there, show the property, if it's not something that they want, then we're right back to the square one.
How
5
far of
days
a
later,
drive
they
is
want to
that?
see something else.
How
Oh,
far is that
drive?
drive? No, you
It's a 16-hour drive. Yeah,
so you gotta fly.
it's not,
Um,
and there are no direct flights at the
Mm.
where my local airport is. There are no direct flights into like the West Palm Beach market, which is where I was. So I literally turned it down because I couldn't figure that part of it out, as it would have been like a referral on top of a referral. If it had just been my
Right.
own client, I had referral partners that I could, you know, other agents in the region that I could have referred it out to. But so that's where I was coming up with the new construction, kind of going that route. But I guess if I'm looking for showing assistance, how have people, as a solo agent, I have not had a whole lot of luck even trying to find agents to hold open that want to sit at open houses, um, or do an open house, much less like a showing assistant. And like, how does that structure look like? Do you
There's
just pay
an
them a
app.
flat fee?
Well, a couple things. So I have a fee schedule. And agents that I work in collaboration with just kind of know, like, you know, this is what we charge per door. But there's
Okay.
also an app that I think it's called Showami. And it is like agents all over the country sign up. And so
Okay.
literally you just go in there and you'll put that you need somebody and there's an established price or whatever, and people just take it, pick it up, and they just open the door. And literally the whole entire concept is showing coverage.
Hmm. Okay. What is it called?
I think it's called Showami, I think, but we can
Showami.
probably ask in the group, and I'm sure 100 agents in the group will know the
Somebody
name.
will know. Okay.
But also I would just say, you know, the one thing, Michelle, and we'll wrap on this note to be respectful of everybody's time, is that don't allow the problems of the future to bottleneck you today. So it very well may be an issue that you don't have boots on the ground, but don't worry about it today. You'll
Okay.
learn and you'll figure it out when you lose them. Don't allow that to stop you. The concept, especially of new construction, is very tangible. It's very tangible. And it's also like identifying what that looks like. Like, you know, I don't know your numbers and I don't know what you need, but if you closed on, I don't know, 10 new constructions a year, would that number work for you? Right? 10
For
is
sure,
very
especially while I'm
feasible.
bridging to build up something in Virginia now. So to bridge that.
So it's very tangible. I have a friend, talk about unique business models. I have a friend that built a real estate platform, and all she does is gain leads and hand them off to agents and take big referral fees, and literally just built that online. And so the bottom line is, if you're willing to do the work, you know, we talked about that earlier with Tamika, right? Like she realizes that this market requires work, right? We haven't seen these kind of numbers in this slow of a market since 95, right? But if you're willing to do the work and then niche down, get clear on your messaging, get in ChatGPT, identify your ideal avatar, build a whole marketing plan around it, position yourself. Listen, they say fake it till you make it. I could never like fake it till I make it, but I do faith it till I make it. Like if God is calling me to do something, I'm going to step into that. And I'm going to like, so if you're doing that as of tomorrow, you are Michelle, the new construction Florida expert. Boom. Like whatever that is, like be that. And I'm telling you, audacity will get you farther in this business than anything. So just have the audacity to like say it right now. That's what I'm doing, and go for it.
No, that's good. Thank you so much.
You are
And I
also
might reach out to
welcome.
you directly,
Yeah.
brokerage information too.
Well, I would to say less, made my night. I love it. Yeah, and you'd only have one cap in 2 markets. Just side note, little plug, you'd only have one cap no matter how many states you're in. But ladies, thank you so much. As always, I love these. Sometimes, they're big, sometimes they're small. But I always just my heart is always filled to get to build deeper relationships with you. So now I have partners in all the states. By the way, I'm Nevada, in case I didn't say that. Northern Nevada, not near Las Vegas. I love when you guys tag me, but it's a 9-hour drive for me. So I'm closer to Lake Tahoe. But I will see you ladies soon, and have a blessed Thanksgiving. Bye,
Thank
ladies.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Same to you. Bye-bye, and
Bye,
everyone
ladies.
here.
Bye, guys.